No, I shall learn.
Srila Prabhupada, they are used to cheating, and so they wouldn't believe Krishna either, because they are used to cheating, and that's why they don't trust anything and anybody.
Skeptic.
Because they cheat us themselves.
The skeptic is not a scientist or a man of knowledge. He is unbeliever, that's all.
Skeptic can actually not have full knowledge. You never have full knowledge.
No.
The scientists, they cannot understand, for a long time, they cannot understand what is the relationship between the world of ideas, the world of names, and the world that they see. How can we explain what that relationship is?
That is spiritual and material. The material is simply a phantasmagoria. It is the imitation of the reality. That is described in the Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter. Find out. Urdhamula madhosaka. That is called mirage. In the desert, the animal is finding water. There is no water in the desert. But there is water. But not in the desert. That they do not know. So this is just like desert, this material one. And everything is reflection like water. But there is no water. It is only reflection. Tejo varimit vinimayam jattat sargam risha tejo varimit vinimayam. Here everything is a transformation of three material things: fire, water and earth. But it looks like reality. Just like the mirage, that is also tejo varimit vinimayam. By reflection of the sun falling on the sand, and it looks like water. This is best example. And the animal is running after water, running, when he becomes fatigued, dies, that's all.
But here, in the material world, when we look for water, we actually take it and we can drink
That
it.
is not water. That we do not know.
That is not water either.
What is that?
The Blessed Lord said, there is a banyan tree which has its roots upward and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas.
Where you have experienced this tree, you have experienced a tree is adha, down, a mula, the root is down, and the tree is up. But here it is said, urdha moolam, the root is up, and the branches and twigs they are down. Where you have experienced? Huh?
Yeah.
Dr. Ulf, where you have experienced this tree?
I know of it, yeah.
Huh?
I know of the tree with the roots up and the leaves down, yes.
What is that? What is that?
There is one, yeah.
You say the water. You say the reflection of the real tree.
Right.
So, reflection is not reality. And therefore it is compared like that. It is not reality.
Otherwise, it would be satisfied.
Huh?
If it was real, we would be satisfied with it. So the scientists are engaged in minutely analyzing this mirage, the reflection. They're wasting their time.
Yeah. Now you are right.
This we have.
We have some specific topics that we wanted to have Srila Prabhupada's instruction about these things that we are going to write. So, shall I discuss very briefly?
Yeah.
The title is The Origin of Life and Matter. There will be a subtitle called Life is a Manifestation of Life Only. Life is a manifestation of life only. I mean, life comes from life. That is the subtitle.
Yes.
Then we have some tentative titles of the chapters. And the first one is unique differentiation between living spirit and a non-living matter. This will be tentatively planned to write by me. And the second chapter is the eternality of the living. That's also by me. And then in the third chapter, it is called A Look at the Natural Laws Regarding the Origin of Life and Matter. In this there are different sections. First section is quantum mechanical demonstration that will be written by Richard Prabhu. He's a mathematician. And the second part of it.
That theory mathematics you presented.
Yes, it is here. This is
his?
Yes, this is his.
So it is very nice. You have dedicated Hare Krishna. Then
the second one is order cannot arise from disorder. This will be based on mathematical arguments.
Very good.
That's also Richard Prabhu's duty.
Yeah.
And the third one is the statistical disproof of Darwin's theory. This is on advanced mathematics. That also Richard Prabhu's duty.
Very good.
And then on fourth chapter, we have a section called the false theory, namely that life originates from matter. This will be Mahaprabhu's.
Life originates from matter?
No.
False theory.
The false theory.
Very good. It will be very nice. You have all Krishna's blessing. Do it nice.
Then on the fifth chapter, there will be evolution versus transmigration.
Yes.
Explanation.
Very good.
That will be written by me. And then on the sixth chapter, there will be a topic called molecular evolution. This will be taking the examples of the scientific findings, but we use those examples and turn around to Krishna.
Yes.
So that will be by me and it's
that is Bishchiktandunla. Isn't that? The last chapter, what he means?
This one? This is a molecular evolution.
Molecular evolution takes place when the life is there.
Actually, when they say molecular evolution, it talks only about molecules. They don't talk about life, because they don't know what life is.
Yeah.
So they talk only about molecules. Then everybody knows that molecules are around and it's evolving. But they don't know that there is life.
That is their defect. That is their defect. We want to educate them on this point.
And on the seventh chapter, there is the Prabhupada's suggestion that theory of Achinta Shakti. That will be collective effort. They're all the Prabhus from the movement.
Achinta Shakti is there
within
our body.
We want to present it in some sort of very good arguments, foundation, so that it will be all collective effort.
There's another devotee, Gyanadas, in Germany, who is a graduate from Oxford University, very big school. And we have invited him to come for this meeting, but he did not respond. Maybe he will come and help in the future.
Yeah.
He has, what is his field?
Oh yeah, his topic was classical and statistical thermodynamic proof that was allotted to Gyanadas Prabhu to Germany. Prabhu Maharaj sent a telegram, and I also personally wrote a letter saying that he should participate in writing a few chapters. He has a thermodynamics background, he wrote me some time ago. Very good.
Yes, this is nice attempt. Krishna will help you. They are wiping out Krishna. And your business will be to establish Krishna. Idang nipangusas tapasas sutasava sishtasya suktasya cha buddha datta avichito artha kavibhi nirupita jaduttama sloka gunanuvanna. You know these words? Find out Bhagavad Srimad Bhagavad.
1:1.
Yeah. Take the index, otherwise I will find out.
The index.
This I want. We are nicely educated. Now, by dint of your education, you prove that background is Krishna. That's all. Then your education is perfect. Otherwise, you are one of these fools and rascals. That's all. The particular type of education, mathematics, chemistry, physics, what you have learned after working so hard, now you should, by your educational, departmental education, you prove that the background is Krishna. Then your education is perfect. That is the verse. Idang nipungsas tapasas sutasava.
Idam nipumsas tapasa
Sutasava.
Svitasya suptasya cha bhuri bhaktayo avichuto rita kalibir nirupito yadutama shloka gunanavan. Learned circles have positively concluded that the infallible purpose of the advancement of knowledge, namely austerities, study of the Vedas, sacrifice, chanting of hymns, and charity, culminates in the transcendental descriptions of the Lord, who is defined in choice poetry.
Part.
Yes. Human intellect is developed for advancement of learning in art, science, philosophy, physics, chemistry, psychology, economics, politics, etc. By culture of such knowledge, the human society can attain perfection of life. This perfection of life culminates in the realization of the Supreme Being, Vishnu. The Shruti therefore directs that those who are actually advanced in learning should aspire for the service of Lord Vishnu. Unfortunately, persons who are enamored by the external beauty of Vishnu Maya do not understand that culmination of perfection or self-realization.
Nature, Vishnu Maya nature. They are bewildered simply by seeing the nature.
Vishnu Maya means sense enjoyment, which is transient and miserable. Those who are entrapped by Vishnu Maya utilize advancement of knowledge for sense enjoyment. Sri Narada Muni has explained that all paraphernalia of the cosmic universe is but an emanation from the Lord out of his different energies, because the Lord has set in motion by his inconceivable energy actions and reactions of the created manifestation. They have come to be out of his energy, they rest on his energy, and after annihilation they merge into him. Nothing is therefore different from him, but at the same time the Lord is always different from them. When advancement of knowledge is applied in the service of the Lord, the whole process becomes absolute. The personality of Godhead, his transcendental name, fame, glory, etc., all are non-different from him.
Absolute. That is absolute.
Therefore, all the sages and devotees of the Lord have recommended that the subject matter of art, science, philosophy, physics, chemistry, psychology, and all other branches of knowledge should be wholly and solely applied in the service of the Lord. Art, literature, poetry, painting, etc. may be used in glorifying the Lord. The fiction writers, poets, and celebrated literateurs are generally engaged in writing of sensuous topics. But if they turn toward the science of the Lord, they can describe the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. Valmiki was a great poet, and similarly Vyasadeva is a great writer, and both of them have absolutely engaged themselves in delineating the transcendental activities of the Lord, and by so doing they have become immortal. Similarly, science and philosophy also should be applied in the service of the Lord. There is no use presenting dry, speculative theories for sense gratification. Philosophy and science should be engaged to establish the glory of the Lord. Advanced people are eager to understand the absolute truth through the medium of science, and therefore a great scientist should endeavor to prove the existence of the Lord on a scientific basis. Similarly, philosophical speculations should be utilized to establish the supreme truth as sentient and all-powerful. Similarly, all other branches of knowledge should always be engaged in the service of the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita also the same is affirmed. All, quote, knowledge, unquote, not engaged in the service of the Lord is but nescience. Real utilization of advanced knowledge is to establish the glories of the Lord, and that is the real import. Scientific knowledge engaged in the service of the Lord and all other similar activities are all factually Hari Kirtana, or glorification of the Lord.
That is perfect. If you can write this book nicely altogether, it will be great service to Krishna. And Krishna will bless you and help you.
Can you read the rest of the chapters?
Yeah.
Then in the each chapter there will be...
Just make that Dr. Agarwala also interested.
Yes, you can...
He is also professor of physics.
Defects and errors in scientific research. There will be title. They will find out all the mistakes that normally found in scientific research. That will be written by Madhav.
And how to make it perfect. Find out the defects. Don't be what is called?
Negative.
Negative only.
No, we want to bring for defects in our senses and sense perception. Then
sense perception is defective.
Yes, there are 4 defects.
And if you go beyond the sense perception, that is perfect.
That will be Mahaprabhu's duty. Then on the 9th chapter, there will be topic, the ultimate research, the own research.
Yeah.
That
ultimate research is to find out the brain.
Krishna.
Yes, absolute. But there is no more defect. Everything is perfect. That is stated. Dhamna sena nirastak hukam param sattam dhimai. Nirastak hukam, where there is no defect. That is Vaikuntha Dham. Dhamna sena nirastak hukam param sattam dhimai. The absolute truth. The offer or respect. That is the beginning of Bhagavad. Nirastak hukam, where these defects cannot enter. Just like sunshine. In the sun, darkness cannot enter. There is no possibility of darkness going there. Is it possible? So similarly, in Krishna, Krishna Sujya Sama, Maya Andhaka. So there is no question of defect there.
Yeah, in this aspect, I wanted to base this on Vedanta Sutra number 1, that ultimate research, that Brahmajikasa. Yeah, is the...
That is beginning of knowledge. What is the absolute truth?
But that is the research topic.
Now, this subject matter should be taken up seriously in the human form of life. That is the suggestion. Atha, ataha, Now you have got this human form of life, therefore you discuss about the absolute truth.
Then
Param Satyam Dhimai. Yes?
next one is next chapter is matter originates from life. That's Madhav Das Prabhu's. And on the 11th chapter there will be Rupananda Prabhu's.
Matter is a manifestation of life's energy. We can daily experience. The matter here is growing, cut, again growing. Why? Because there is life. The dead body here never grows. Is it not?
Well, the scientists will say it's just recombination of matter.
Whatever it may be. And when there is body dead, no hair grows.
That's a nice example.
They can use some bombastic word, but we layman, we see this is the position. And you do not know how it is being done, but the energy is there in you. That is called Achinta Shakti, inconceivable energy. That is there. I save every morning and next morning again millions of hairs. You do not know how it is being happening, but it is happening. And this is called Achinta Shakti. From Krishna, such big things are coming out. Even Krishna may not know, but Krishna has got the inconceivable energy by which it is coming. The same example.
They will speculate so many theories as to why the hairs are coming out, but then after some time they will see that theory is wrong, they'll have to present something.
Yeah, that is the rascal now.
And until they come to understand that Krishna is pushing it, then they will never understand what's actually causing everything to go.
False ego. False ego.
That's
prestige.
So, give something.
The last but one is called titled Intellectual Animalism. Animalism? Psycho-social implications. That will be Rupananda.
Was their idea, in a book like this, there has to be some social conclusion as to the effects of such atheistic theories.
Yeah, the people are being misguided. That we want to stop. They have got this human form of body. There is an opportunity to understand himself and God and act accordingly. Now they are being misled. It is social disservice. Cheating. In the name of scientists, they are exploiting this innocent person, taking their money and spoiling it without any good result.
My idea is that the scientists are preaching void. They're preaching to the people.
But what is the necessity of preaching void? Void is void, that's all.
There's nothing to say about that. But because they're saying that, the people think that at the time of death, there's nothing, so they want sense gratification. So the scientists are selling them their gadgets. They're selling them cars and things to keep them in sense gratification.
We can see when a man is in coma, he cries, he suffers. Before death, when a man is coma, sometimes tears come. Now he says that there is nothing. Imperfect knowledge, that's all. Misguiding people.
The last chapter is the nicest.
The last chapter is that Srila Prabhupada suggested that the original life is Krishna.
Yeah.
That is the concluding chapter. That will be a collective effort from.
That's nice, very good. Do it. Sincerely pray to Krishna and you will give intelligence and write nice. Tesham sadhujuktanam dadami buddhi yogam. Krishna will give intelligence. Janamam upajanti the. Such intelligence which will help him to come back home, back to me.
So we are strong in the principles, and we will have the intelligence to write this book.
Yeah. Krishna will give the intelligence. What is that?
To those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me.
That's it.
Buddhi Yoga. So it will take us some time.
It may take
That is a difficult task.
But do it very nicely. How many pages will be?
Plan about 500.
That's nice. Then you can immediately publish. What the title you have given?
Called The Origin of Life and Matter. The origin of everything. When one talks about the life here in the material world, one cannot live matter. Because the scientists, what they are doing is matter is taken for granted. They do not ask who made this matter. So they started that matter is already there, given by nature. So they take the matter and then start life. That is their conclusion. So we want to bring it that matter is also from life.
Yeah.
It's like saying the car produces the driver. That's what they think.
The car necessitates the driver's service. Otherwise car is useless.
Neither is the driver dependent on the car for his existence. He doesn't need the car. The car needs him.
Yeah.
They also say that the car created itself somehow out of the metal and everything in the rubber.
That is not the fact. Car requires the help of the driver.
I wanted to show this journals, the life, origin of life. This started from last year. So here, the international scientists from all over the world, they combine together and then they form this.
It's speculative.
Yeah, this is all chemicals. This and there's a big group.
So why don't you protest?
Yes, that's why we are starting the background.
Refute their argument. Then it will be nice. आइए इधर बैठो. आप लोग कौन से प्रोविंस का है इंडिया में?
पंजाब से हैं.
पंजाब.
मैं हरियाणा से हूँ.
How long you are here?
मैं यहाँ 12 साल से.
हाँ, तब तो बहुत डोमिसाइल. हैं? 4 महीने. क्या बिजनेस इधर?
मैं पढ़ाता हूँ जो एमरी यूनिवर्सिटी है यहाँ पे.
Oh, Emory? क्या पढ़ते?
मैं यकीस प्राइमेरी सेंटर में.
Oh. Yakis, they are doing research on primates.
I work on the
some sort.
I work on the nervous system of primates, trying to find out the effect of protein malnutrition of the mother on the developing fetus.
This is Srila Prabhupada in the field where the scientists are trying to prove that life is originated from matter. This type of research work. I called the director of that institute a couple of days ago, and I told him that I wanted to look around, and he told me that we need a formal application in order to visit that center. So I'm going to make a application. Other than that, what do they do?
There are a number of projects, there are a number of disciplines in which people work. Mine is experimental nutrition.
So you are also believing that life comes from matter?
No, I don't think we think in those directions at all. We simply just conduct experiments, not knowing what they will lead to, and try to describe whatever we see under the microscope, or with some biochemical methods that we use.
But I think you have assumed that Darwin theory or theory of evolution is already there, and we want to study something intermediate, higher levels. Evolution is all right, but
basic principle is evolution.
Yes. But they want to study more some of the intermediate stages, like this reaction, the metabolism in some
mother's body, no?
In any system, yeah, mother's body or any living systems.
What we are trying to do is to study the growth and differentiation of the nervous system, different parts of the nervous system, and how it is affected by lack of protein in the diet of the mother.
That is medical science.
Because all over the developing world there are millions of mothers who do not get adequate quantities of protein while they are pregnant. In the first instance, before they are pregnant, they are not nutritionally prepared for having another burden of a baby inside their body. And without that adequate preparation when they become pregnant, this is a double stress on their physiological systems. And we like to see how the baby gets affected.
So, if by chance there is baby killing, is that the conclusion?
No, our conclusions just say that there is a critical period in the development of the baby that if it does not get adequate nutrition at that time, then is likely to be retarded in many respects.
Therefore,
the number of cells that he comes equipped with is less than the normal, and number of enzymes that must be equipped in certain proportions do not come in the right proportions, so that the later functioning is not to the mark. Their verbal and cognitive ability is very much affected. So what we are trying to do is, hopefully in the next 5 years we can do it, is to define a critical period. We do not know yet what is the critical period. We are talking of a very large span of time, but most probably it is only a few months period in which if the baby is supplied very well, at least the nervous system will not be affected. His body may be affected. By the lunch programs in the schools, we have been able to improve very much the physical characteristics of the body. But if the mental mischief has been done, which is done, it cannot be corrected later on. So
now this killing of the babies are going on.
You mean abortions?
Yes, not abortion, killing, regular killing. Sometimes they kill the doctors. So it is going to be supported like that, scientific research?
No, Swamiji. It's a matter of opinion. When the fetus becomes an individual, if you think that as soon as it is conceived, it is an individual, which of course it is because it's going to grow into one, then of course it's killing.
That you believe that the child in the womb is not individual.
don't have any personal thoughts about it though. But I think, if a woman thinks that she is not suited as a mother,
then why she has sex?
Well, in this present world, I think sex is not for procreation; it is more for fun. I think 99% of the couples who indulge into sex do not think of children at that time.
But that is sinful.
That's true. But this is also true that 99% of people, when they indulge in it,
99% maybe all rascals and fools. That is not truth.
For the common, I think masses, some practical means are needed rather than
practically is that our Shastra says that Pita na sasyat, Janani na sasyat, Namo chaita samupita mittam. The idea is that one should not become a father, one should not become a mother, unless they know how to make his child immortal. Because soul is immortal, but he is entangled in this material body, therefore death takes place. Actually soul is not born. Na jayate na mriyate va. So this process is going on, transmigration of the soul from one body to another. Tatha dehantara prapti. The father and mother should be so enlightened and educate the son in such a way that this is the last acceptance of material body. Takta deham punarjanma naiti. He may not accept again this material body. If the father and mother is determined in that way, then they should become parents, otherwise not.
Swamiji, I think you are very right, but we are the one in India who face this problem the most. We should not have gone to this stage at which we are, 600 million people. I think most of us are, procreating without any thoughts about the next generation.
That is not for Indian and European, that is for everyone. That ignorance and knowledge is everywhere.
Yes,
it is not the Indian or American. That ignorance is everywhere.
But Swamiji, while the family norm here in the Western countries at this time is 2.3 children per couple, we still have a family norm of over 6 children per family. I think there are a lot of cultural factors that are contributing to
that Shastric Indian science is, that is spiritual restraint. Therefore, one should train himself when to have sex life or when to become father, when not to become. That education. Not to become like animal, dogs and cats. Whenever there is sex desire, we must have. Therefore in the Bhagavad Gita, it is said, dharma viruddha kamosmi. But you find out dharma viruddha.
Swamiji, do you recognize that India does need some method at this time?
Why you are speaking of India? Everyone needs. All over the world.
We are the most unfortunate one that with only 2.4%.
You are unfortunate because you are now following misleaders. You do not follow the real leaders.
We have only 2.4% of the land area and we support 16% of the human population. See, this land
that is due to your ignorance. You have followed the so-called rascal politicians. You have not followed Krishna. Therefore, this misfortune is there. Misguided. Now,
everything comes from the Mother Earth. Everything comes from the Mother Earth. We are in very short supply of it.
No, sorry. There is everything supply. You have got the basic knowledge. You don't take care of them. You now manufacture your own knowledge. Now there is knowledge, this Bhagavad Gita is perfect knowledge. But even a political leader like Gandhi, he says that I don't believe that there was anybody like Krishna living ever. This is your leader. All the acharyas, previous acharyas, big acharyas, Shankaracharya, big stalwart, learned, they have accepted Krishna. Now Gandhi says, I don't believe. Now you are guided by Gandhi. You are not guided by the acharyas. That is your misfortune. You are not guided by Krishna. You are guided by Dr. Radha Krishna. That is misfortune. Andhāgathandhai rupaniyamana. One blind man is following another blind man. That is going on. That is going on all over the world, not only in India.
I think Mahatma Gandhi followed the Gita, all these.
Now he did not believe in Krishna and he followed Gita. That's it.
Then who wrote this? Who gave us this great law?
Now, just try to understand the psychology. He says plainly that I do not believe there was anybody, Krishna, living ever. And he is following Krishna's instruction. Just see his position.
Then he must have also answered this question.
No, there is no questioning. If you do not believe in somebody, how you are reading his book or knowledge?
That's my point also.
Yeah, so therefore this kind of leader we are following, contradictory. That is our misfortune.
Swami, we are not following any person, but we do see the realities all around the world.
Reality is if you have no knowledge, what do you know about reality? If you have no knowledge, then what is reality, what is non-reality, how can you know? If your knowledge is imperfect, then how you can say reality? Suppose beyond this wall you cannot see, how you can speak of the reality beyond this wall? That is misfortune. You do not see what is there clearly and you are speaking of the reality. Your senses are defective. What do you know about reality?
At the spiritual level, yes, we are very blind.
Yes, that is reality.
But at the material level, at the level where people eat their food and live their lives, I think,
that is also on account of presence of the spirit soul. Actually, whatever little you are doing on account of presence of the spirit soul. As soon as the spirit soul is gone, then your body and senses are simply lump of matter. So you are working with that lump of matter on account of presence of the spirit soul. Therefore, that is more important. To understand what is that spirit soul, how it is working, what is his position, that is real knowledge. Therefore, Krishna begins in the Bhagavad Gita, first lesson about the spirit soul. Dehinasmin yatha dehi kaumara jovanam jara Tatha dehantara prapti. See, you are studying the deha that we are discussing just now. One is studying the motor car, but he has no knowledge of the driver.
Srila Prabhupada, may I venture very humbly into this opportunity of saying something I've experienced so much with people, that they would say, oh yes, we are ready to respect the spiritual values, but we live in this real world, in this material world, and so we would rather not have the spiritual values interfere with it.
No,
they settle everything in the material sense.
What they are saying, real world, that is unreal.
They don't realize that.
No. Their knowledge is so imperfect, they are taking asattere sattya kari mani. Asattere, you understand Bengali? Asattere sattya kari mani. Accepting the untruth as truth. Asattere nitai pada pasariya, ahankare matto hoiya, nitai pada pasariya, asattere sattya kari mani. By forgetting our relationship with God and being proud of your so-called. Therefore Bhagavad says, Satyam Param Dhimahi, the real truth, not this related truth. Satyam Param Dhimahi.
Swamiji, I recognize that happiness does not come out of material prosperity. But material prosperity is also equally important for a good existence.
Just like you require the motor car. But motor car is not your life. That is being misguided. Everyone is thinking that this body, motor car, is everything. But within the drive, he is starving. So how long he will carry on this motor? So first of all, take care of the driver who will protect this motor car nicely. And if the driver is a nonsense, he is starving, so how can we expect the car will go very nicely? It will create disaster. Disaster means, suppose you have got very nice car, Cadillac or many good cars there, Rolls Royce, and it smashes. Then you get ordinary car. This human body is smashed. Andhra Prati, you enter into the dog's body, finished. That is not your control. That is God's control, nature's control. Tatha dehandra prapti, it is not under your control or so-called science. Prakita kiramanani, gunai karamani sarva. Karanam guna sanghasya, sadasat janu joni. These things are there.
Do you think, Swamiji, scientists would be able to create life as they...
That I was discussing, that is foolishness. That is I discussing. Life is never created. Life is already there. The body is created. So they are going on a wrong theory.
I think our definition of life is a little different.
You may define differently, that is your upside.
We are talking of body, protoplasm, something that moves. It may not have the soul, it may not have any...
It may not have, that means you have no real knowledge. May not have. May not have, that is not knowledge. I say may have. Then what is the difference between you and me? May not have, that is not knowledge. That is simply suggestion, speculation.
Only to give example.
Therefore we have to take knowledge from the perfect Krishna says, yes, dehinasmin jathade. You have to take that knowledge. You cannot say, you are perfect, and you say, may not have. And what is this knowledge? May not have. Say definitely and prove it scientifically. That is knowledge. Perhaps, may not, maybe, these are knowledge.
Just to give one example, these days the science experiments have conclusively done that a particular egg can be in the body of the womb, can be manipulated into either a male or a female.
That's all right. We say the soul is within the body. So you can make it male or female, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We are not concerned with male and female.
So the science
we are concerned with the body.
Science does manipulate life.
Maybe even if you manipulate, then what you have done, you cannot create the soul. That is not possible. If you manipulate life, then give the dead body and again energy to rise up. Then that you can manipulate. Otherwise it is false. If you are so expert in manipulation, then give the dead body life again. That is manipulation. You depend on others and you manipulating. This false knowledge will not help.
Swamiji, what actually I was coming to most humbly, cannot spiritualism and science go together? Is there a time?
No, if science is really science, that is helpful. If science is based on wrong theory, then what is the use of it? Everything is wrong. Some mathematical calculation. If there is any item wrong, then whole thing is wrong.
So we are all moving in the darkness, ignorance to begin with.
Yes, that if you admit, then you will get knowledge. But that is not the position. You are falsely proud that you are very advanced in knowledge.
No, Swamiji, no.
Then you are then you are qualified.
Even for a small experiment, I don't pretend that we know anything, and just whatever it is.
Actually, that is the position.
Do not pretend that we know anything.
Therefore, our business is to surrender to Krishna. Krishna demands that. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam saranam. Then Krishna will give him intelligence, how to become perfect. Tesham satadriptanang bhajatang pritipurvakam dadami buddhijogam tam. This is the process. You take instruction from Krishna, the perfect. Don't be proud of your paltry knowledge. That is our Krishna consciousness movement. The Krishna is perfect and take knowledge from him, he will be perfect. That is our program.
And that we believe in.
Yeah. We are not perfect. We can speculate only. They are not perfect. Maybe, perhaps, like that. No definite knowledge. The definite knowledge you can get from Krishna, the perfect. And therefore all the acharyas accept Krishna. We have to follow the acharyas. Acharya upasana. So in India, all these acharyas, Shankaracharya, Ramanacharya, Madhyacharya, Vishnu Swami, Lord Chaitanya, they accept Krishna, the Supreme. Absolutely. Why you should not? Are you more than these acharyas? Then? That is the defect of modern education. They manufacture education, although they are imperfect. They have no the common sense that I am imperfect. How I am manufacturing education, I am becoming teacher. My becoming teacher is cheating. because I have no perfect knowledge. Knowledge means it must be perfect, not maybe, perhaps. This is not knowledge. Definite knowledge.
But to bring some message of truth to the people all over the world, which are
Yes, the message is there, Krishna's message.
4 billion, we need some people who will say, I am the teacher.
No, that we are teaching, that you take Krishna, the authority. Don't go to the rascals. All problems will be solved. But they are going to the rascals instead of going to Krishna. That is Krishna consciousness movement.
You mean, Swamiji, then that all scientific efforts, whatever they are, which are being made, should be stopped altogether?
No, not stop. That's like you have got an ordinary car and you purchase a Rolls-Royce car. The business is the same. It is simply an artistic improvement. In the ordinary car there is much jerking, and the Rolls-Royce car there is no jerking. So that will not benefit you. After all, it is car. You can use it for going here to there to here. That's all. Therefore, our Vedic civilization, they are not very much eager to manufacture a motor car. They are satisfied with the bullock car. But after all, you have to go from this place to that place. And there was no need of big roads, 3,000 miles long, for driving the car. You see, the bullock cart was sufficient here to there, a few miles. But they were interested to cultivate spiritual knowledge. That is Indian civilization. Vyasdeva was living in a cottage and just see his literature. Chanakya Pandit was the Prime Minister of India, and he was living in a cottage, drawing no salary, and he has given his politics and moral lesson so sublime. So here at the present moment, the motor car civilization, he is anxious to have to get a Rolls-Royce motor car. That's all. That is his business.
When you say, Swamiji, very humbly, I would like to know that scientific inventions should not be stopped, then what should be the actual modus operandi to continue?
Modus operandi, athata brahma jigyasa, to inquire of the absolute truth. Jivasya tattva jigyasa, not just cheha karma bhi. Karma you should do, but the kamasya nendriya priti, find out this verse. You can close this door. Kamasya nendriya priti. Our desire should not be engaged for sense gratification. That is going on. All desires, all improvement, all science, they are being, just like you were speaking about the protein deficiency. That is all concerning the body. Body means senses. There is no higher study.
That we admit that it's not a very high study and it's not something final, but I think some...
No, that protein supply, suppose the birds and bees, they have no research institute. There is sufficient protein supply, this supply and that supply, by nature. And an elephant has got so big body and so much strength. They have not found it by your scientific research. The nature is supplying. Prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasa. It is being done. Why you are wasting time in this way? You study what is Prakriti and what is behind Prakriti. That is real study. The protein supply is already being done. Just like a cow is eating grass and she is supplying milk full of protein. So do you think that the protein is coming from the grass? Then you eat grass?
Something must be.
So that is something. That is no perfect knowledge. That is not perfect knowledge. It is, everyone knows the cow does not take any protein food. It takes on the grass.
Grass is quite rich in protein.
Then you take. Why you are searching after protein?
Because we cannot digest the fiber.
Then it is not suitable for you. Therefore nature's arrangement is that protein can be produced through the body of the cow.
I think Swamiji, nature's arrangement was not made for that many human beings that we have come.
Nature was defective, you mean to say?
No, sir.
Then?
No, I mean nature's way is designed as the ecological balance of the...
If you follow the nature's law, then everything is there. If you deviate the nature's law, then there is defect.
Yes, that's correct. Everything is there.
Swamiji, nature's balance has been upset by us.
That's all right. That's what I
Otherwise
say.
there would not be that many human beings here. It was all the time checked by nature's forces. We have just constrained nature by our efforts.
So that is my point, that nature is doing. As soon as you violate nature, then you become defective. That is, therefore one should live natural life.
Kamasanendriya?
Hmm?
You want me to read this? Kamasanendriya Pritiya?
India? No, I am not speaking of India.
Kamasanendriya Pritiya.
Oh, yeah, kama, yes. Read,
Life's desires should never be aimed at gratifying the senses.
read the verses.
Kamasanendriya Pritir Labho Jiveta Yavata Jivasya Tattva Gigyasya Nartho Yas Cheha Karma Vi.
This is that kamasa, we have got some demands of the body. That does not mean it is meant for sense gratification. We require something. Ahar, nidra, bhaya, maithun. These four things are the demands of the body. We must eat something. We must sleep for some time. We must have sex life also. We must be fed. That is all right. But not for sense gratification. The child is required. Progeny is required. For that, sex life is good. But they are using sex life for pleasure and killing the child and implicated in sinful activities and therefore suffering. And scientists encouraging them. Yes, you can kill child. Why should you create child and kill him? That nonsense they cannot understand.
That's right.
This nonsense thing has created all problems. The Vedic civilization is, first teaching is brahmacharya. How to learn to avoid sex life. If one can continue without sex life, he is praised. Let's take brahmacharya. If one cannot, all right, he become a perfect grihastha. So many rules and regulations. Dharma avariddha kama. that is all right. But if you use sex life for a sense gratification and becomes implicated in so many sinful activities, then how will you be happy? A sinful man cannot become happy. That is not possible. For all our sinful activities, the so-called scientists are helping. Yes, you can do this. And the church is sanctioning. This is why. The Christian religion says thou shalt not kill. And thou not teaching, yes, you can kill the child. You have killed cows and so many things, that is all right. Again you kill your child.
Swamiji, can I ask a very, very silly question which has been asked to us a lot of times and we don't have a satisfactory answer to it. Why is the cow sacred and not the other animals?
Because it gives milk.
But there are a lot of other animals. Buffaloes give milk too.
Not so much.
In larger quantities.
But milk means, it is scientifically proved, milk means cow's milk.
Because there are a number of other
What
animals.
about the killing of those cows which are not the milching type? Which are not the milching type, as cows that are being bred here.
First of all, killing is sinful.
Yeah.
Christ says, thou shalt not kill.
Yeah.
That is sinful. It doesn't matter whether you kill cow or goat or anything. But from economic point of view, cow is very important because it supplies milk. And milk preparation, we Indians know how many we can get nice milk preparation. Dahi, rabri, this, that. But they are how nutritious, how palatable. And that is good for human being. First thing is, why should you kill? If you have got sufficient food, patram, puspam, phalam, toyam, then vegetable, fruits, then put grains, then sugar, everything is there, sufficient. And at least we Indians, we know, we can prepare hundreds and thousands of people, nice, palatable, enjoyable. Why should you go to kill the animal?
But scientists claim that meat.
Scientists, first of all, we have rejected them.
Excellent quality of proteins. That's why.
But however protein you may accumulate, can you stop your death?
No.
Then what is the value of protein?
That's not.
If you think that protein will save you from death, then you collect the best protein. But after you are going to die. Nature will not allow to live, even if you take much quantity of protein.
Yeah, that's correct.
First of all, make solution that you will not die. Then try to find out best protein. What is your answer about the birth, death, old age and disease? Can you check it?
No answer.
Then
No answer.
you take protein, why you are becoming old?
The researches, though they are being made, they are imperfect again.
Huh?
They are imperfect, sheerly imperfect.
No.
Maybe, perhaps, those don'ts are there. But scientists say that Rome was not built in a day.
Therefore, Indian civilization is that you take rice, wheat, dal, vegetable, a little milk. whatever protein and vitamin A, D, C, D can be available, there is some.
Dr. Manoja has done excellent work on malnutrition and he has written 2 books. And
Yeah.
in those books, he has advocated that meat is not the only best diet. Balanced food you can have by, your dals and so many other sources.
Yeah.
Meat is not the only.
And in your Punjab, in United Province.
He is very right in his approach. It's not one-sided.
Swamiji, my main question is, although spiritualism is the absolute truth, can we not in some way make spiritualism in such a way, modify in such a way as to help the common people, the masses?
Yeah, that we are doing.
Steeped in ignorance for such a long time, it will take a long time to bring them into the fold of spiritualism.
No, it has been made easy by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that you don't commit sinful activities and chant Hare Krishna. Chant Hare Krishna and don't commit sinful life. That's a sinful life we have given them. No illicit sex. We don't say no sex. No illicit sex. No illicit sex, no meat eating. Suppose they are not now eating meat. Are they unhealthy? They are known now as bright-faced. So no illicit sex, no meat eating, no intoxication, and no gambling. This is avoiding sinful life. And chant Hare Krishna. This is the result. This is the result. Within 4 or 5 years, how they have advanced. Not that they are Vedantists or they have studied all the Vedas. Not that. Simple thing. Have you ever come here in the evening when they perform Arati Kirtan? Just see how ecstatic it is. Simple thing. Don't commit sinful activities and chant Hare Krishna. Bad. You become elevated. Jagai Madhai, they were, in those days, because they were drunkards, woman hunters, meat eaters, they were considered most sinful. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivered them by this process. But there were 2 Jagai Madhais and hundreds and thousands Jagai Madhais. Purified. পাপি তাপি যত ছিল হরি নামে উদ্ধারিল তার সাক্ষী জগাই মাধা. Everyone wants evidence. Papi tapi, all sinful men were delivered simply by chanting Hare Krishna. So you may ask, where is the evidence? Tar Sakhi Jagai Madha. The evidence is here, Jagai Madha. So not that Jagai Madha 500 years ago, now see at the present time. They did not come to me after studying all the Vedas and Vedantis. They come to me, I ask them that don't commit these sinful activities and chant Hare Krishna. That's all. Everyone can do. Even the child can do. So you are all educated man, study this philosophy, try to understand, also join. It is your duty because you are Indian. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entrusted this mission to the Indians. Bharat bhumite manusya janma haila jar, janma sarthak kari karo paropaka. Indians are meant for doing good to others. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. And an Indian can become perfect because there is all the Vedic literature. Janma sarthak kari. First of all, you become perfect, then preach the knowledge for others' benefit. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now our leader says, throw away these all shastras in the water. This is and what they have gained by throwing away. And actually government is against us, against my movement in India. What can I do?
At this time, I think India also needs as much spiritual movement as anybody else in the world. At this time, I think India itself needs as much as spiritual needs. And we are as much backward as anybody else in the world. Probably more so.
Because we have lost our original culture and we could not take the Western culture. So we are in the wilderness.
Because here the average man takes more interest.
Because they are fed up.
And, whereas in India, the average man doesn't even take
No, he knows what is this Hare Krishna, he knows it. Now reject it.
And average Indian, I think he will not be able to tell you how many chapters are there in the Gita.
Yes, they have never been taught. But still they are Krishna conscious. When you hold a meeting in India, 20,000, 30,000 people come. Still, because by nature they are inclined. By artificial means they are being subdued. And in every step, I can feel they are not openly saying, the government is giving me trouble. They don't want this movement may go on nicely in India.
But truth cannot be...
No, that cannot be suppressed. That cannot be suppressed.
Even if it's Prime Minister or Mahatma Gandhi denying the very existence of Lord Krishna and this and that. No. That's foolishness. Gracefully.
Dr. Fenton, Prabhupada, Dr. Fenton, he's a professor of religion at Emory University.
Oh, very good. What is the time now?
Maybe it's 20 to 2.
Time.
Can we touch your face?
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's all.
Can we please?
That's it.
That you can offer a So that is the father's duty, to see the child is grown completely spiritual, so that he may not have to come again in the mother's womb. Taptadeham punarjananaiti mami. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I talk with the professor of religion sometime. What is the meaning of religion?
Professor of religion.
Hare Krishna. What is that college you are employed?
Emory University.
In
It's about 3 miles from here.
So what definition you give to religion?
It has to do with saving. Something that binds societies together. It has to do with the supernatural, the gods, or the God. And sometimes...
That there is relationship with God. Is it not? Religion has got relationship with God.
Yes, but sometimes it's simply something that holds a society together, or both are religion. Sometimes religion is shameful, sometimes it's man's highest glory.
You come here. I could not follow
He
you.
says sometimes religion is shameful. Shameful.
Shameful.
What is that? Shameful, what is shameful?
Not good, something disgraceful.
Ashamed. Shameful.
Ah.
There's a false religion and there's sometimes religion is the most glorious thing.
When there is no standard definition of religion. Sometimes this, sometimes that, like that. What is the
According to what you said,
definition?
there seems to be no standard definition of religion. Sometimes it's this and sometimes it's that. Isn't there something more definitive you could?
Oh no, the more I study it, the more it slips through my fingers. I've been teaching for 14 years and still don't know what I'm teaching.
Just like Christian religion. What it is teaching.
Christian? This, the humanization of man through trust in the Lord Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And why trust Lord Jesus Christ?
Because he is the root to reality, to truth.
That means he's Son of God. Is it not?
Yes, but I personally am not that orthodox. That is the orthodox teaching.
Teaching must be orthodox. Otherwise, what is the value? If the teaching changes, that is not very good.
Well, it may be that it changed in the early history of Christianity through Greek influence on its Jewish background.
It is changing now also. That
Yes.
so change is of the material world. In the spiritual world, there is no change. Absolute. In the relative world, there is change. So, our definition of religion is little different from the worldly definition. Our definition, our means, that should be the real definition. Religion means the laws which are given by God.
Sanatana Dhamma.
Huh?
Sanatana Dhamma.
Yeah. Sanatan, yes, religion should be Sanatan. Sanatan means there cannot be any change. Just like every living being eats, you cannot change it. You cannot say that this living entity is not eating. Apart from human society, even in animal society, a living being eats. This is his religion. He sleeps, have sex. These are eternal characteristics. Similarly, religion means spiritual characteristic. that spiritual characteristic is also pervertedly reflected in the material world. Just like everyone is servant. Anyone, any one of us, we are all servant. You are serving the university. He is serving the...
You're serving.
He is serving international society. I am serving Krishna, or he is serving Krishna, like that. Oh, everyone is servant. This is religion. To remain a servant. It does not mean that the Hindus are only servant, or Muslims are servant, and Christians are not. Everyone is servant. Is it not a fact?
I hope it is.
So that servitude or service has to be rendered to God. That is perfection of service. So that is religion. We are serving, I am serving this, you are serving that, you are serving. But when that service is rendered to God, Krishna, that is perfect service, perfection, satisfaction, and that is religion. According to Sanskrit dictionary, or what is called? Dictionary?
Sanskrit dictionary.
Religion and Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, God, is demanding that you surrender. So this surrender business is of the servant. Like I can say to my servant, just hear me, what I say, do it. And he does it. That is servant. A servant cannot dictate. The master can dictate. Servant is to obey the dictation of the master. That is religion. When the servant obeys the dictation, take this picture, keep there. This picture. Here. Keep it. You come here. Take this vase down. God is great. God is great. Do you understand? God is great. And we are subordinate. Is it not our position?
Being servants. Yes.
This is our position. God is maintainer. And we are maintained. God is predominator. And we are predominated. This is our position. We are not equal to God, neither over God. we are always subordinate. And why we are subordinate? Because he maintains us. That is the difference between God and ourselves. He is the supreme being and we are subordinate being. We are maintained by God. That is Vedic instruction. Nitya nityanam chetana chetananam eka jo bahunam vidadhati kaman. This is understanding of God. He is Nitya, He is eternal. And we are also eternal. Because we are samples of God. God is great and perfect, and in our this position we are subordinate, and in material condition we are imperfect. So even if we become perfect, still we remain subordinate. Therefore, our position is always to abide by the orders of God. This is religion. When we abide by the orders of God, then we are religious. When you do not, then you are demons or Satan. आइए इधर आइए. अच्छा आइए. ये दो बच्चे हैं?
दो बच्चे.
अच्छा. ऐसा अमेरिका में ही पैदा हुआ क्या? अच्छा. तो आप लोग अमेरिकन साहब है? नहीं, इनको पूछे.
आप बोलो. वृंदावन से आ रहे हैं.
अच्छा, वृंदावन का है?
वृंदावन से.
वृंदावन में आप भी गई थी? हमारा मंदिर आप देखिए, रमन रेती में नया तैयार हो रहा है.
जो नया तैयार हो.
हाँ हाँ.
एक तो पागल बाबा का मंदिर.
ओके. और हमारा मंदिर रमन रेती में. But the religion means